Hello all you sundrops and moonstones. I believe this franchise has the best music out of any Disney property, and from what I have heard, this is partially because of a man called Alan Menken, who was in charge of the music for the movie, as well as the show, and from what I have gathered, he has worked on Disney movies for a long time before this. It also helps that the Tangled cast is just full of great singers and voice actors. This list will only cover songs with singing, so no songs that are just instrumentals, or songs that are mostly just instrumentals. The song also needs to be a decent length. So no incarnation song from Rapunzel, for example. It also won't include the Disney theme song Takeover. This list will have 29 entries. This is because the reprises or reprises or however you say it in this video will be counted as one song, and this is because they tend to be very similar and they actually affect the quality of the other versions of the song, whether in a good or a bad way. Plus, it's simply easy to talk about them under a single entry.
Moonlight on the shore, the promise of much more.
This is the only song I don't really like. Every other song I can get into. I don't think this is bad, but it's also in an episode I have issues with. The entire episode felt like filler to me, and it being a love story makes me think it would have fit far better with Big Nose, to the point where I wouldn't be shocked if he was originally planned to be on the road with the others, and be the original star of that episode. It's a song that's best enjoyed when watching it with the episode it is in, and unfortunately, in general the episode it is from is the least enjoyable to me in the entire series. This is the only song in the franchise I don't see a reason to go back to, and as a result, it is in last place.
Those three small words I long to hear.
When I let him walk away, what if I had spoke instead?
I already see this being controversial. I appreciate that we get a duet between Eugene and Raps, and do truly like this song. Every song from this point onwards I'm a fan of and go back to. This is just one of the least memorable songs to me. I just never at any point believed that Rapunzel and Eugene wouldn't be back together by the end of the episode, or at least a couple episodes down the line. It does have beautiful vocals though, and that's the main reason I go back to it.
But now it's gone for good.
Wish I had that moment back.
I'm rich and famous and completely respected, and I'm living the dream. My digs are snazzy and my agent's connected, and I'm living the dream.
We get the return of Hook Hand, and while not as good as his original song from the movie, Living the Dream shows us more of his character's personality and his dynamic with his brother. While Hook Hand is revealed to be awful to his brother and kinda a hypocrite and ableist himself, this is a super fun song, but this is a franchise full of amazing songs, and some had to be given lower slots. It's just personal preference. It's also not really affecting the overall story that much, does lower it a bit for me, even though we do lose Hookfoot as a character after this episode.
Senor, career's out of steam. Mevo, I'm living the dream.
Since I was a lassie, just a sweet young thing, all I truly longed to do was make up songs to sing.
In one of the episodic episodes, I'm not a fan of this for strong plot progression. Instead, I like it for the strong guest stars' vocals, and for also getting the captain to mellow out, even if it's just for a brief amount of time. This is a fun song, and it lets us hear from the Fug group again, in song form, which I loved seeing since I adore the song Ive Got a Dream. The main reason it's low on the list is because Ruthless Roof doesn't really add much to any recurring characters. If the captain was a bigger character, then this probably would have been a bit higher on the list.
That's the truth. Listen up. Listen up. Listen up. Listen up.
Royal decision making, hey, I was born to do it. Yeah, sure, I'm slightly faking, but there's not that much to it.
This is a glimpse into how Rapunzel handles her kingdom, and while she doesn't do well in the end, it gives us a good look into what the show often doesn't focus on, and that's the citizens of Corona. We get a little taste of Cassandra's singing voice, but it's not really a great showing of how amazing she can be. This song finds it really easy to get stuck in my head. Too easy. It gets stuck in my head for weeks.
Would have thought how far from getting this I could get. This is life after happily ever after, and it's all just as sweet as the stories say.
While I do like these songs, for them to be the opening and ending of the TV show side of Tangled, it isn't my favourite thing in the world. I do like it. If I didn't, it would be at the bottom of this list, but considering it's one of the longest songs we get from the show, it's weird I don't like this one more than I do. It almost feels too happy, even for this show. When there's other optimistic songs like Stronger Than Ever Before, they're more optimistic than everything being sunshine and roses for forever. I guess I'm just an ass that likes seeing the characters face troubles.
Living happily ever after.
Living happily ever after. Living happily ever
I know we've grown apart, it breaks my heart in two.
This is a good song, but I do have the itch that tells me it's kinda redundant because we know how much Rapunzel cares for Cass. This is good. It just feels to me like this was placed a few episodes too late in the show though. I also have some flaws with how back and forth Cass was as a villain. I honestly feel like it felt a little forced at points near the end to continue having her as a villain, but this is still a nice song.
Yes, I'd give anything for you. Now I got my eyes open and wide and my heart burning like
The song the show ends with each episode. It works very well as a credit song and is just amazing sounding and very catchy.
oh yeah, there's more of me to give. Time now to fight. Let's turn our losing streak around. Rise and unite. Let's do what we must do.
When I got to seeing this group hiding out together, it kinda reminded me of Weirdmageddon from Gravity Falls, knowing they'd be going out for a battle in what is essentially a suicide mission. The highlight of the song being Varian's bits. It's a great song about preparing for battle, but to be honest, the show has another battle preparation song that I like even more.
Life's been so unsatisfying. Look, suddenly now I'm flying, freewheeling from cloud to cloud to cloud.
In one of the best episodic episodes of the show, we get an even stronger look at the bond of Raps and Cass. This is a visually fascinating episode, mostly seeing what the characters look like as birds. Rapunzel's optimism really shines in this song, and I think it's because of her increased sense of freedom as a bird. All the more interesting considering she had been locked in a tower her whole life, until not long before this song.
It's just me and you looking down at the view from up here. Seems like I've spent my whole life hoping, dreaming of things I've never tried. Tangled in knots, just waiting for my time to shine.
The theme of the show, and yeah, it's pretty great. I'm guessing it being this low is going to be another controversial thing. Get used to that though, there's so many good songs. This is a great way to introduce us to the show version of the franchise, and really fits with the adventurous mood of the show.
And I'll find it, I swear, with the wind in my hair. 7 a.m. the usual morning lineup. Start on the chores and sweep till the floor's all clean. Polish and wax, do laundry and mop and shine up.
This song shows off her existing life really well, and lets us know of all of her talents and basically everything about her that she knows about herself at this point. I think this is slightly better than Wind in My Hair, likely because this is our first moment with the character.
Now that I'm older, Mother might just let me go. Locked inside a tower, kept behind a wall, sheltered from a world you've barely known.
Rapunzel gets so many songs. It makes sense, it's her adventure, but as a result, a lot of her songs are slightly lower on this list than some other characters, because there's only so much new content you can come up with for one optimistic character. That said, this is a great song, about setting yourself free. The title pretty much sums it up, and this lets us see a slightly different side of her.
Fly away to find your destiny and set yourself free. I know everything about ya. Can't picture one day without ya.
Pascal is underrated, and seeing his backstory in this episode and how he's an important character in Rap's life is what made me have hope this show would be really something special. Fantastic songs showing a really wholesome and sweet friendship, and made both of these characters even more likeable for me.
Simple as 1, 2, 3. Always you and me. You and me. I wanna break every rule and cross every line. Woohoo!
I love seeing Cass actually get a decent singing role here. Obviously she gets more songs, but this was only the first or second time she got a memorable chance to show off her vocals to me. This is a wonderful way to show us what the second season of the show would be like. Full of travelling and wonder and wandering, the two versions of the song make each other better, getting a really nice bit between Eugene and Rapunzel in the reprise.
I was always taught nobody's got it all, and I never thought I had a shot at all. But to my surprise, look at how lucky I've been. Whoa.
Honestly, one of the best parts of this song is when Old Lady Crowley casually starts singing it. This is Rapunzel being optimistic at one of the hardest times to be optimistic, being betrayed by her best friend and everything. The reason this is so much higher than some of the other Rapunzel songs is because it goes through the events in the franchise, but it doesn't feel forced. It's done through Rapunzel's already established painting skills.
Now I've got everything, and everything's fine. We've done a lot, faced who knows what. Still, though we're not quite through yet, we have so much to do yet.
I like how Lance seemingly gets promoted to an even higher character rank for the start of season 3 of Tangled. I appreciated him stepping in casually in a song for once, because around the second season, I became a fan of his character.
Never say never, we're stronger than ever before.
Believe me, I know I've sunk pretty low, but whatever I've done, you deserve.
Varian.
Quiet! I'm the bad guy, that's fine. It's no fault of mine, and some justice at last will be served.
Please listen.
A going to war song where we get to know the main character's thoughts when going into battle. Varian to me works as a good villain because Rapunzel is known for keeping her promises. The one time she breaks it causes Varian to snap due to the situation with his dad. Up to this point in the show, this is where the stakes were at the highest. The Queen has been kidnapped and Varian is fully intending to do whatever he needs to Rapunzel to get his dad back. This song is a huge character moment for most of the characters. Cass leads the battle, Rapunzel bonds with her father, Eugene has to take a step away from the spotlight to follow Cass's lead, and Varian goes all out villain. The cast of Tangled have wonderful singing voices, but I think my favourite part of the song is just the army charging forward and singing as a collective.
And I'm ready!
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Ready as I'll ever be.
I'm malicious, mean and scary. My sneer could curdle dairy. And violence-wise, my hands are not the cleanest. But despite my evil look and my temper and my hook, I've always yearned to be a concert pianist.
Probably the scene I've heard be most talked about from the franchise as a whole, and it's no wonder why. Focusing on the criminals, one of the weirdest aspects of the Tangled franchise, especially Shorty, we get them singing, mostly Hookhand. The song is visually amazing, and while I don't think Hookhand is the best singer in the world, It adds to the charm of the song. It also helps to highlight how beautiful Rapunzel's voice is when she gets her chance to explain her dream. The highlight is obviously Eugene being threatened.
Now more than ever, we must stick together, united.
Now, it's now or never, so let's face the future clear-sighted.
The final episode and song where we get the great dynamic between the main three characters. We got a little in the series final, but it was really short. It's a really nice song showing how much they all care for each other, even if I'm unsure if Cass had already decided to betray them at this point, or she hadn't made up her mind yet. I feel like she knew she was gonna betray them. She lied to us through song. I hate when people do that. It's just nice hearing the three main characters all singing together.
Without you,
Without you,
without you,
by my
side.
When you're scared and stricken and losing your cool. When you're such a chicken, you feel like a fool.
As someone with severe anxiety, this song is genuinely kinda nice to listen to before doing something mentally intimidating. Lance, I feel like, is kinda underrated in the show. When people talk about their favourite characters unique to the show, I usually hear Cass or Varian mentioned. This song gives Lance a true bit of time to shine, and he definitely does. I always looked at him as the muscle of the group, when in reality, that was always Max. Lance just usually was the one with a lot of good luck. This is a great song that even manages to drag in some supporting characters while not taking the spotlight away from Lance.
You know you're chiller and you're flipper and you're hipper than that. So face your demon, stop screaming and pummel his head. What were you afraid of? You're bigger than that.
If you're feeling jumpy, lost or low, I hope you know I'm here.
Life's a little bumpy, call me bro. I'll always lend an ear.
Oh, you mean literally?
Easily the most fun and light-hearted song left on this list. I actually get Aladdin music vibes from this, more specifically Friend Like Me, for the general topic and the animation freedom. They must have asked Disney, how many drugs can these characters take? To which point Disney handed them all the drugs they had, and the creators had to respond with, you know they're animated, right?
Never ever a bit funny, nutty. You're something else that rhymes with nutty. You're my best buddy, but don't ever change.
Maybe I make things a mess, and maybe you're right to have doubts in me.
The first version of Let Me Make You Proud is the underdog hero song, but the reprise is a start of a villain. Well, it's Varian, so temporary villain. Jeremy Jordan genuinely might have my favourite singing voice of anyone ever, so I was bound to love this. Seeing Varian try to prove himself is great, and this song really made his character stand out early within the show. The entire song covers his main motivation in life of making his father proud of him.
Anybody who stands or has stood in my path, they're going to pay.
Guess we all are born with parts to play. Some of us are stars, and some are just in the way.
A deeper look into a main character who really hadn't been given a ton of depth before this point, but was still likeable. This song really fleshes out who Cassandra is. She's not just someone who looks out for Rapunzel and has a back and forth with Eugene, she has her own hopes and dreams.
And so I keep on keeping on. My chances come and then I blink and they're gone.
The reprise, I really don't know how to say it. That version adds so much impact to the original song. It shows she's always been shoved in the background, and despite Rapunzel not asking for it, Gothel choosing Rapunzel over her biological daughter. The whole song, both versions, are beautiful, and really adds to Cass as a character.
thought I was an outcast, I thought I stood alone. A rogue, a thief, a joker, no place to call my home.
This is a visually spectacular song, showing what is basically just screenshots, but lots and lots of them all at once, to make the impact of the lyrics and vocals sting all the more. Everything I ever thought I knew and Waiting in the Wings remind me of each other. This is because both songs are solos by main characters, and they're the characters each dealing with a thing in life that has followed them everywhere they go. For Cass, that's waiting and being outshined. For Eugene, it's the struggle to feel safe and trusting settling down, because the rug has always been pulled out from underneath him. While the song doesn't have a reprise, it doesn't need it for the impact. The entire show before this point, and the movie, give us enough of a look into his life to give impact to this song. The reason I am able to justify this being a slot higher than Waiting in the Wings, despite for me achieving similar emotions, is just that I personally am more attached to Eugene as a character since I've had more time with him throughout the franchise. This song also shows up during the best episode in the show for me, and adds to the feeling of tricking the audience into believing Eugene is the traitor, which he wasn't. Well, maybe, but very briefly.
I guess my life meant nothing, I guess it was a sham. I guess I'm someone else now. I wonder who I am.
Look at you, as fragile as a flower, still a little sapling, just a sprout. You know why we stay up in this tower? I know, that's right, to keep you safe and sound, yeah.
A song built around pure manipulation. This is a truly nasty villain song, and I love it. The behind the scenes footage of this is just so fun. Donna Murphy has so much animation in her movements and voice. I wouldn't be shocked if the animators used her mannerisms in Gothel. This is a great way for us to feel bad for Rapunzel and to detest the villain. I love Gothel as a villain because she's honestly a very realistic type of villain, and it makes her so easy to be annoyed with since, yeah, you can find people like this in real life easily.
If he's lying, don't come crying. Mother knows best.
This has to stop now. Whatever it is that you're going through, we'll fix it together, me and you, just like we've always done. No, this has to stop now. This thing where you think that you've been my friend and don't even hear how you condescend the way you've always done.
I think one of the best parts of this being Cass's villain song is that it doesn't feel that much like a villain song. It gives off vibes of a princess song, similar to Let It Go, though it also sounds like it was dragged straight out of Wicked. In case you can't tell, there's an Idina Menzel connection there. Rapunzel does sing a little bit, but it's just to set up the real meat and potatoes of the song of Cass's singing about crossing the line, because Rapunzel made the mistake of waiting, and we all know how much Cass hates that.
And for us, it's we're over the top. Sandra, wait! I'm crossing the line.
All those days watching from the windows, all those years outside looking in, all that time never even knowing just how blind I've been.
One of the most beautiful songs I have ever heard. This is visually stunning and wonderfully sang. I don't know. When I think of what a princess sounds like, Rapunzel's voice just feels so princessy to me. It's just a nice voice. The entire movie, you root for the main characters to admit they like each other and truly announce it. And we get this right at the end of the movie, and it makes it so satisfying to watch. As Eugene said in I've Got a Dream, he doesn't really sing. We know that's wrong thanks to the TV show, but that is likely Rapunzel winning him over on it. But following from that line in the movie, we only get him jokingly singing in I've Got a Dream. Here he reveals he has a truly amazing singing voice, and it gives me goosebumps.
Now that I see you, now that I see
is a dangerous track. You take one step and it's hard to turn back. It pulls you along, and though it seems wrong, it feels right.
Hero who went villain and back to hero, talking it out with a hero who turned villain, who would eventually turn hero again. For me, this song contains my favourite male and female singers from the show. I love the others too, but these just happen to be my favourites voice-wise, and goddamn, I get a duet between them that feels pulled directly from a musical, and I love it.
You've lost your grip and lost your mind. All's not lost, don't be so blind. Cut your losses, drop the I refuse.
Visually, from the show's songs, I find this to be the most well animated. The camera angles are so dynamic, and the lighting used to make the rocks stand out in a normally relatively empty area is amazing, and it allowed and gave freedom to the animators to pull off any visual stunts that they wanted to.
Now I have nothing left to lose.
Anyway, that is all for this ranking video. Please write your ranking in the comments, or just your top songs, and say why. The why is important to me, and until next time, bye I guess.